All right, today is day, whatever day it is, day 21, I think. It is April the 23rd. After today's hike, it'll be a complete 3 weeks that I've been on the trail. I am, as of now, I'm about a 5 or 6 mile walk from Erwin, Tennessee. There's a hostel right on the trail, really popular one called Uncle Johnny's. I'm gonna stop in there and get out of this rain. Set up camp last night. Did about 20 miles yesterday. Set up camp, and immediately it started raining, and then all night long it was just pouring down rain. Thunder, lightning, the whole deal. Today, slept in, didn't break camp until about 8:30. It was just pouring down rain, and knew I didn't have to do but about 7 miles to get into Erwin. I've got to resupply. They have a food line there, so I'm going to resupply there, and then sit down, have a big hot meal, eat a bunch of salad, eat a bunch of fruit. So that'll be good. So it's 100% rain all day, just like it is now, as you can see, I'm sure. And then tomorrow as well. So the original plan was to go into Erwin for just 2 or 3 hours, eat, resupply, and then head back out to the trail and knock out, 4 to 7 more miles, and then stay on the trail and then keep pushing 20-mile days or more until we get to Roan, Tennessee, to resupply. But with this nasty rain, it really sucks putting up your nasty wet tent. It just sucks putting up your tent and stuff in the rain. Everything gets soaking, and I know that's just how it is. At the end of the day, it's just water. It's not freezing cold out here. I think it's in the 50s right now, or upper 50s. So it's not that bad. It's not the end of the day. So anyway, but it'll be nice to kind of get out of the rain too. So we may end up staying at whoa, man, the camera just flipped over. May end up staying at Uncle Johnny's for just a little bit, drying out. And I looked at the weather, and it did look like the 100% chance of rain dipped to around 60% around 4 o'clock. So, get a little break or something. Maybe a good time to zip on into the mountains and set up the tent when it's not raining, and hang up the clothes and inside the tent, and hopefully they dry out a little bit to resume tomorrow. I did last night. It was pretty neat. I found some different loops that were inside of the ceiling of my tent, and I got some of my really thin string that I have, and I made 2 little clotheslines. So last night I hung up my shorts, my hat, and my socks, and they were pretty dry this morning. So and they weren't wet enough to where they dripped on me. So that was good. But so anyway, I wish I could remember what mile I'm at. I do not remember. I think it's somewhere around, probably as I'm walking right now, maybe somewhere around 340. So after today, maybe 345 or something of that nature. And that will be 3 full weeks on the trail. So I feel pretty good. I wanted to do just over 100 a week. as my average, and I didn't think that I would be able to do that in the early part of this hike because the mountains down here in Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee are pretty steep, and with some of the weather that I've had to deal with, including this, it makes it hard to get the miles in that you want to. So I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm excited that I'm this far along the trail. I found out not too long ago my wife is mailing me my 40-degree bag to Damascus, and some homemade cookies all the way from Italy. And she's already mailed me cookies before. I got those in Fontana, and they were still fresh. They were still really good. So I'm excited for the new batch of cookies in my lighter weight sleeping bag, because the one I have now is a 30-degree bag, and for the past week I've just been sweating in it at night. It's nasty because you smell so bad. You have no idea. I don't know if I've said this before, but an alive human being should not smell this bad. It's so bad. But everybody smells the same way. And but you know, when you're in a nice steamy sleeping bag, it just makes it just all that great. So hopefully this bag will be a little bit better. But anyway, so I'm gonna get into Uncle Johnny's. I'm excited to see it. I've heard and I've read about this hostel for years and years, about how great of a hostel it is, and I assume there's going to be a lot of people at the hostel today because of the rain. Because of the rain yesterday, today, and tomorrow, it's probably going to be packed. So I'm sure they won't have room for us to stay, but maybe they'll have some room on the porch to get out of the rain. And I was also going to mention about Erwin, Tennessee, is the NASCAR race is in Bristol, Tennessee today, which is very obviously not going to happen. So all of those NASCAR fans are staying in all the towns close by, which is fairly close to Erwin, where I'm headed. And all the hotels, we've heard that all the hotels are completely booked and there's nowhere to stay, and they raised the rates way up anyway. So I imagine that since it's raining, all those NASCAR fans are going to be out and about in town at all the restaurants and this and that. So it should be quite the show when we get there. At least it'll be in the morning. Hopefully not too many people will be too all trashed, drunk, or anything like that. Not that NASCAR fans get trashed and drunk, right? But anyway. So I will hopefully take a video when I get to Uncle Johnny's to show how cool that place is, and give some more updates. I have another video that I put together last night, and I need to upload that whenever I get Wi-Fi. So maybe at Uncle Johnny's there's enough Wi-Fi to upload a video too. I'll check back soon. So today is day 21. It's April 24th. It's kind of loud here because there's this really cool stream that I'm walking across. And everything is, all the creeks and things are all swollen. I'll kind of show you behind me so you can just see, like, as I walk through some of this stuff. So everything's swollen because of all the rain the past few days. So yesterday, me, Buzz, and Little Bear, we did only 7 miles. It rained all day. It was really nasty, as you saw in the previous clip. But so we only did the 7 miles into Erwin. Went in, we got a ride into Erwin, went to the food line and resupplied, and then got a couple big meals while in town. Ate a bunch of salad and a bunch of fruit, and then a hamburger and an omelet and some fries and potatoes and a bag of chips. You know, typical hiker stuff when you're hiking 20 miles a day, typically. But anyway, so we actually got a room there at the Super 8 motel, split the cost, so it made it a little better. And got a shower. I washed all my clothes in the shower with me, and they dried overnight, which is good. Hung my tent up in the room and got that all dried out, so I'm all clean and dry, which feels good. And there's a lot of uphill today. We've got about 13 or 14 miles of trail that's just uphill. I think there's a couple steep spots, but it's supposed to be somewhat moderate. I think it's around like 3,500 feet of elevation gain. Again, over like a 13-mile period, 14 miles, so it's not that bad. But with that said, it's still climbing for 14 miles, so it takes it out of you. I'm only about a mile, maybe 2 miles in for the day. It's 8:40. We're gonna push for 20 miles today, even with that long climb. There's a really cool hostel called the Greasy Creek, and actually the lady who owns it doesn't like it to be called a hostel. She said, who wants to stay at somewhere that's hostile? So she calls it the Greasy Creek Friendly. It's kind of neat. Anyway, she has resupply and food, and it's supposed to be this really cool like farmhouse, and really neat. And she charges barely anything for you to just pitch your tent in her yard, and that comes with a shower, and if you want one, and you know, bathroom and things like that. So that's at 25 miles. I don't know if we can make it that far. It would be neat to see that place. So if we can make it 25 miles, we will. We'll probably go into that place and just camp. And probably get a shower. I'll get a shower whenever I can get one. And but if not, if we only make it 20 or 21 miles, then we'll probably just go right on by it and not stop tomorrow. So the rain chance has diminished for the day. It was at 100%, and then it went to 80, and I just checked it before I started the trail this morning, and it was down to like 50. And that was mainly for this morning and in the evening. And it's not raining now, and I can actually see some sun peeking through, and then also some blue sky. So that's good news, because it's been rainy on and off for like 5 days, and my spirits are still way up. I feel really good. I'm still really happy to be out here, even going through all the rain and mud and muck. There's a lot of people out here that I pass during the day that you can tell they're just over it. They're just sick of it. And I understand that too. Hopefully I never get to that point, but as of right now, I'm loving it. This is crazy. Look at the trail. That's the trail. Running water. Just running down the trail. It's a lot of rain. So I've got to walk up this stream. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera off. I don't know if I'll get clips later today or what, but I'll update sometime later. So today is day 23, April 25th. Just showing you the trail. It's so nasty and muddy. So yesterday I left Uncle Johnny's and made it all the way to Greasy Creek Gap, which is a 25-mile day. So that's my biggest day so far. Oop, I'm slipping and sliding all over the trail. It's so nasty. But then about 3/4 of a mile walk on a side trail, there's a old farmhouse, and CC is the owner, her and her boyfriend, and there was like 30 some hikers there, and it was such a nasty rainy day. Everybody was soaking wet, and all the bunk spaces and everything, all of it was booked, but she made a space on the floor. She moved her kitchen table out of the way and all of her living room furniture, like corralled it all, and like 8 or 9 of us just rolled out our sleeping pad and sleeping bags on her floor, and she let us stay out of the rain and in the warm house. And even with a shower, she only charged $7.50 or something. So it was nice to get out of the rain, not have to set up the tent in the rain, because by the time the day came to an end, it was pouring down rain. And then today it's like drizzling a little bit, getting a lot of bigger drops just off the trees, and heading up Roan Mountain, which is a pretty big climb to get a little above 6,000 feet again. So trying to do another about 20 miles a day, trying to camp right on the Tennessee-North Carolina border, where we're actually out of North Carolina for good at the end of the day today. So the trail has actually been literally on the North Carolina-Tennessee border for over 200 miles now. So we'll be in Tennessee, and be in my 3rd state, and that'll be good. So it looks like another muddy trail day, another wet day. I feel like it's been raining at least some point during the day now for like a week, and it's getting old. I mean, it's okay, spirits are still good, but man, you're just a muddy mess. Oh, there's my shoes. Like, they're just so nasty. But anyway, I'll try and update later, or maybe tomorrow. So today is day 24, April 26th, not quite 8 o'clock. Yesterday climbed to, I made it to Over Mountain Shelter. Really nice shelter. It's an old barn up here in the mountains that they went through and made it into a shelter, and it holds like 20 or more. I don't see why it wouldn't hold 40 hikers in there. It's really, really neat. Instead of staying in the shelter though, I did set up my tent and kind of got out of the busyness of the shelter. I know in previous videos I've talked about how much people stay up late and talk and this and that, and I like to try to get to bed pretty early because I'd like to get an early start. But I'm about a mile and a half, almost 2 miles in for the day. I'm going to go into the small town of Roan, Tennessee to resupply on a few things, and then I'll get back on the trail this afternoon after that, and I plan on making it to the 400-mile mark this evening, and then I'll also be crossing here shortly. I'll be crossing into Tennessee for good, so I'll leave North Carolina for good. As I said before, the trail has been one step in North Carolina, one step in Tennessee for over 200 miles now, and it just follows that border for a long time. If you go to any type of Appalachian Trail interactive map and you zoom in, you can see where it just follows the border. So trying to do 20 today. I'm not sure if that'll happen, because I know I'm going to go into town, which means I'll see some type of restaurant and I'll sit in there and eat $15 worth of food probably, and which is okay. And but I wanted to show you this view. Sorry about the wind. Hopefully it's not too loud in the video, but pretty cool. There's some hikers coming up. I think that's Buzz and Little Bear coming up from where I'd come from this morning. And then look at the clouds. Over there in the back. It's unbelievable. And then the sun, of course, is super bright, but it's so nice. I can't begin to tell you how great it is to see the sun in a clear day. It's been about a week. I feel like it's been a week since I've had a nice, clear, sunny day. And the trail is still a muddy mess. I mean, my feet are absolutely covered in mud. They're soaking wet. They've been wet for 3 or 4 days. I mean, other than going into town. I don't know if you can see my feet, but it is just like covered in mud, and just, it sucks to get up in the morning and put on wet socks and your feet are just all soggy and nasty, and it's a filthy mess. But that's what it is, you know. I mean, you're living out here in the mountains, and you're hiking through whatever Mother Nature throws at you. So you just get up and you put on your wet clothes and you keep on trekking. So so I'm gonna get going. Should hit the Tennessee border here soon. I'll get some pictures of that, and I'll check in later.